Previously on Junior Adventurers League. Thanks to a magical invitation sent to Valqwyn Crizera, our adolescent heroes were whisked away to the Swords Meet, a legendary fighting tournament, where the half-drow fighter won the championship against the dandiest dandy that ever dandied. This week, the Junior Adventurers are assigned to an unusual professor, one Kharel Voosh, the beleaguered instructor of the feared course Arcana, Civics, Economics, History, Literature, Mathematics, Religion, and Science, their theoretical and practical applications. The adventure begins on the 64th of Summershine, year 559 of Kairosha's Fourth Age. This is episode 21, Trial by Fire. All right, welcome everyone to this episode of the Junior Adventurers League. It's the D&D 5th edition actual play campaign brought to you by the creators and cast of Experience Points.
Huzzah.
If you decided to tune in to episode 21, I congratulate your chutzpah in your attempt to figure out what's going on. But if you are curious, the Junior Adventurers are a team of adolescent heroes going through the Gygaxian School of Future Adventurers. Here they learn how to fight dragons, how to loot dungeons, how to basically go on adventures. Each week they undertake a new quest, and it will hopefully test their knowledge and their skills, and most of all, their teamwork.
Experience Points is a 12-part web series about real people playing real D&D. It can be found on YouTube on our channel, and you can watch it later. We're currently funding for season 2.
Did you actually write that down?
No.
Oh, I really wanted to. I really wanted you to have decided that you were done making it up.
Like, there we go.
In the most mechanical way possible.
I wanna,
if you'd like, go ahead.
I'm just really quick. This is really cute. Shadowrunner says, "Wish I could donate to heal Heather."
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Heather has a bit of a scratchy voice, which she'll talk about when it's her turn to introduce herself, Kate. If you'd like to donate to not help Heather's voice, but to help our adventurers in this adventure, if you donate $2, they get 1d12 plus 2 magical hit points back. They get an automatic natural 20 on their next skill check. And if you donate $6, they get to activate a figurine of dubious power, which is a cool new thing that Shadowrunner, one of our fans, introduced to the campaign. I can't tell if anyone heard that because there's a lot of lag, but I'll keep talking anyway.
Yeah.
Let's go around and let's meet our characters. We're gonna skip. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Great. We're gonna start not with our normal favorite halfling bard named Journey, also named Priska, right?
Priska.
Because
it's been so
she's
long
still
since
dead.
He died.
Still fucking.
Yeah,
It has been
still
been a
dead. We're gonna start with one character over from Priska. Who are you playing this week, buddy?
Hello, Cody Bushee, and I'm playing Theodûir. He's a high elf sorcerer. He's 13 years old, and he's got blonde hair slicked back, and he wears long, luscious robes that are just pristinely designed. And he's a snotty snot.
A snotty snot.
Perfect. Who's sitting next to Theodûir?
Well, hey guys, I'm Heather.
Good enough.
I don't actually smoke 5 packs a day, but I feel like it right now. I play Valqwyn Crizera, though, if you can hear me. She's a half-drow fighter, and she's now Swordmaster Valqwyn, actually. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Indeed. We also learned through a conversation on Twitter this week that your sword that was gifted to you from Lady Gwendolyn is named Constance, and is actually a sentient magic item, which will unlock its powers over time. So we'll see how that develops this adventure. Last but not least, we have...
First and foremost, I am Moss. I am a dwarven druid. I am the smelliest of the party. Being my top fear being soap and baths.
So
that's canon.
It is canon. Don't you also have a flappy
I do
funny friend with you? Who's that?
I do have a flappy funny friend who's been totally chilling out with one of my favorite professors,
Yes.
Professor Barkwood. However, depending on where we're going today, I feel like I want to bring him with me because he's been away for a while, and that would
Been a little neglected, yeah.
none other than the pterodactyl named Rocky.
Yes, he has a little baby pterodactyl named Rocky. He's super cute. Just learn how to fly. Come on, guys. It's the best. They're going to have good cop, bad cop adventures together. Solve crimes. Definitely Rocky is the best
Rocky, this city is not your playground.
I'm getting too old for this. I mean, I'm like a year old.
Meyer, my ass. Blah blah blah.
Definitely. So this week we are starting in kind of an unusual place for the junior adventurers. We are starting in a classroom.
Yeah.
You guys are back at the Gygaxian School of Future Adventurers. In the past, you've usually been assigned during the summer to various different sort of adventuring professors. There's one professor at the school who does not go on adventures. That professor's name is Kharel Voosh. And if you have not tuned into our leveling up session from earlier in the beginning of the season, you might not be familiar with this professor. But this is the only non-adventurer on the faculty, and he is in charge of teaching one class to every single kid. This class is called Arcana, Civics, Economics, History, Literature, Mathematics, Religion, and Science, their theoretical and practical applications. Basically, he teaches all of the regular subjects that are not adventurer related. It all gets loaded onto him. So you guys are assigned to Professor Voosh this week, and Professor Voosh this week will be portrayed by none other than
Me.
What?
It's me, guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I'll describe the setting. You guys are in his classroom. Now this has the same layout as any other classroom in the Gygaxian School. If you remember, this is any dungeon complex that was cleared out by the original adventuring party that founded the school. But his room is a lot more cluttered and messy than any of the other rooms in the school. He's got like a small amount of desks kind of in the middle, and there's all sorts of junk heaped up and piled around. You guys would know that Voosh isn't super well respected by the other members of the faculty on account of the fact that he's not really an adventurer. So they tend to leave their things here. There's a lot of crap and other things the other adventuring professors didn't want in their classrooms. Kind of gets shuffled off. There's all kinds of things as you come in. Obviously, there's the big chalkboard up at the front of the class, and the desks. You see that there in one corner, like stacked with other boxes, is a massive statue or possibly even petrified owl bear, kind of snarling as though it's about to attack someone. You see there are heaps and heaps of rusted weapons in one corner. There is a desiccated mummy kind of like propped up against the one corner, just looking like horrible. And there's also in the other corner like this mirror that's all chased with these black flames. Looks very like horror movie-esque.
Cool.
Yeah. But standing at the head of the class is your professor waiting for you when you arrive. I would love to get a physical description of this professor if that professor would like to furnish us with such a description.
Yeah. So, raise your hand if you've ever seen the movie Clueless. Good. So he looks like Mr. Hull, but with glasses and a mustache. So the guy who plays Fezzik in Princess Bride is that character. He just like sweater
You mean
vest.
Vizzini?
Oh yeah. Thank you, not Fezzik.
Yeah, Wallace Shawn is the actor's name.
Yeah,
if you're not
thank you.
familiar.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy.
He voices Rex in Toy Story 2, I think. Yeah.
Inconceivable.
Yes. Yep.
Comma T-O-O. Yes. Got it. Wallace Shawn. Okay.
Feel free
Perfect.
to just Google him. I mean, if you're not sure. But
Nice.
Yeah, glasses.
Mustache.
Great.
Alright.
Wearing like the collegiate robes, I assume, right? Like what the professors would normally wear when they're not adventuring, which you don't do. So I imagine you guys kind of like shuffle into the classroom. No one is super excited to be here. Can we get a little RP as you guys first come in and the professor greets you? Go for it.
Well, Valqwyn is definitely not verbal today. She spent too much time sparring outside, so go for it, guys.
Come in. Come in.
Oh. Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go.
Day.
Do we have to be in here long? How long is this class?
God, what's the normal amount of time?
That's too long. Can I get it half of that?
Yeah, I like that.
No.
I'll be in the back.
Cool. So Valqwyn heads to the back of the
Yeah,
classroom
just gonna be
and sits
sharpening
like
my
Breakfast
blades.
Club style in the
Yeah.
back. Like, look all cool.
I'm intimidated by you.
You said we could go out to
You're
the
definitely
woods
like
today.
taller than him, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah, and weight buffer.
All like armor and weapons everywhere.
Still in the classroom.
Oh,
still
always.
right
I always have my weapons on me.
Because it's technically summer, so there are no
do.
classes, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like summer school. Like you're there and there's no one else there, and it feels dumb. Like, why am I here? Come on, it's summertime.
How are we supposed
What do
to,
Theodûir and Moss do?
how are we supposed to go on adventures if we're hanging out with the guy that doesn't adventure?
Well, there's lots of valuable things you can learn about life, and not only adventuring. Lots of things apply.
Well,
So,
we're an adventuring party.
well, anything could be a party if you if you care about it.
Anything could be a party or an adventure.
Moss like probably begrudgingly sits down on one of the desks, and immediately the desk just starts growing. Like, just
Right.
his aura just starts ruining.
Yeah, you're just the forest god from Princess Mononoke.
Oh my
Like wherever
gosh,
you
yes.
step, there's just mushrooms and
every
ferns.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It looks like,
Yeah.
or when the forest god dies from Hellboy 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's much grosser
Yeah.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Theodûir, how do you react to this this less exciting assignment?
Well, I think Theodûir probably goes to like the same desk he always goes to, opens up his monster manual, and is very
You're okay with it?
very okay with what's going
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah,
like
could be
learning.
worse.
Probably
Probably no one is gonna try to like impale you or throw you off a cliff this week.
Yeah,
Right?
Not
exactly.
right now.
Good day, Professor.
Well, nice to see you, Master Theodûir.
Oh, it is good to see you as well. I wish
Excited
the
that
class
someone
would show
likes
you some respect. Like I do.
Long silence. Just broken by shing, right? She's sharpening her scimitar. Her like open weapon in the middle of class, right? Like,
Yeah.
but Voosh is like too frightened to do anything.
I'm glad you're at the back. Like, put some distance and some chairs.
Beads of sweat. All right, what do you guys want to do? What's up, Voosh? What's the plan today?
What are we doing today?
Today it's very exciting. I have prepared some documents for you to fill out to, test your knowledge and your skills and your teamwork. And I will pass that out now. Theodûir, could you hand this to Val?
Oh yes, of course.
So if
Sit
you're a
down,
patron of experience points, you can go to our Patreon page and you can download the Dungeoneering Final Exams worksheet that is attached, and you can follow along with the homework that our junior adventurers have just been assigned.
We're literally about to take an exam.
It's a practice test.
Here you are,
But yes.
boss. Here you are.
I need a new one because this one's gonna get ruined.
It just disintegrates in your
You must
hand
sit down.
somehow.
We're all about saving trees here, so you only
I'm
get
not
one.
giving it to you until you
Listen,
sit down.
I
at your
saved more
desk.
trees than you ever even dreamed of.
Okay.
She's staying in the back for sure.
Professor.
Yeah.
Val is not sitting down at her desk. I will not.
Just
give
a
her
horrible
test
teacher's pet.
until
I mean,
she
if
sits down.
I'm fine with just staying right here.
You're a team. You have to figure out how to problem solve this.
Val, we won't get past this adventure until you sit down and take the exam.
Just give it to me, Theo.
That is against the rules. What if you walk around and look at my answers or something?
I'm sitting in the back.
What if you walk around and look at me? Well, it's okay. That's against rules, and she'll be disqualified, and she won't be able to level up, and we'll have to take her weapons away.
Do I have to?
Not me.
You like hide behind your desk as you say that.
Fine. You better get it right.
So yes, you guys would know that at the end of basically the beginning of the next school year, you guys have your Dungeoneering Final Exams, which are basically where they send you out on like a field test alone, no chaperone, into the dungeons below the school to test your abilities. So a lot of these questions are going to pertain to things you might need to know in that dungeon, or they could just cover, the things that might be on the written test. The way this is going to work mechanically, each of the different sections of the practice test has a sort of a category. So we have Arcana, we have history, we have nature, religion, and so on and so forth. For each section, I'm going to have you guys roll the appropriate skill, and then depending on what you get, that will give you clues or the answers to those questions. A lot of them are things you probably can't know unless you roll these checks. So if you want to go through and try to figure it out, you can, but you're going to need sort of what your character's knowledge over your player's knowledge here.
Got it.
If you do not know the answer, then there are some interesting ways to try to get around that, which we can talk about. Great. So the first section of the quiz is Arcana. So can I have every one of the adventurers roll me an Arcana check?
Oh boy.
Dungeon Master, do I get advantage because I'm the best?
No, you do not get advantage because you are not the best.
I see.
I got a mod 20.
Damn.
Ooh, mod 20 is very good.
I crit, it didn't matter.
Wow, nice.
I got 11.
Pretty early in the game.
11, okay.
It's true.
Great. So everybody here knows the answer to the first question. Let me pull up the worksheet. The first question, if you're following along at home in the section Arcana, which of the following spells is not a conjuration? Dimension Door, Ivard's Black Tentacles, Ice Storm, and Guardian of Faith. All three of you know the answer is C.
I knew the answer already.
You knew the answer already. Now, Valqwyn,
Yes.
I would like you to take off your headphones because you do not know the answer to the other two questions.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm gonna go get some tea, then.
Go for some tea. Great. The other two of you guys both know the other two answers. The second question, describe in your own words the difference between enchantment and transmutation. In brief, enchantment affects someone's mind, whereas transmutation affects sort of their physicality, their body, or an object's, properties or whatever. So enchantment affects the mind, transmutation affects the body, or the physicality.
But is that effect spelled with an E or an A?
That would be affect with an A.
Wow.
Wow.
I never get that right. I'm happy that you knew that though. Thank you.
Yeah, affect with an A is the verb. Effect with an E is the noun. So if it's an effect, it's an E. If it is affecting it, it's an A. And lastly, Mordenkainen's third theorem states that an object summoned is magically inclined to remain summoned. True or false? What do you think? It is false. Correct. Awesome. So, Val, you can put your headphones back on.
It says no cheating on top. I can't cheat.
Go ahead and put your headphones on.
He
Val.
says put your headphones on.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
I was sitting there thinking, why is she not doing it? Because she doesn't have her headphones on.
Great. So Theodûir and Moss are hard at work on this section of the test, filling in their answers, very studious. Val, you know the first one, but the other two, either you didn't remember or you didn't pay attention. What do you want to do? How do you want to try to do you want to leave them blank? Do you want to write joke answers? Do you want to try to figure out the answer some other way? How do you think you react to this?
Doodle.
I really kind of want to doodle swords in there.
Or Beezor.
Do you want to doodle swords?
Or like,
Beezor.
yeah, just
Just write
Beezor,
Beezor.
Nanogenarian.
Yeah, do you think you just don't care? You're just going to doodle? Or do you want to try to figure out the answers?
Oh, I'm definitely putting Beezorg and Nanogenarian for number 2.
Okay. There you go. That also works.
All right, let's see here. I don't even know if I'm spelling it right. I'm just putting it in.
Yeah, it seems to be in character.
Number 3 should be one of those where true and false are both in one word. Like, could be either way.
It could be trolls. Yeah.
Actually, I was going to put falsely true.
Falsely true.
Falsely true.
So during this section, what is the professor up to while you guys are either filling in the answers or, not, as the case may be?
I'm putting a sword by that one too.
I'm still excited because I'm handing out a test and I'm just excited to see how they do. So it hasn't worn on me yet. I'm a little. Val's still working, so I just assume that she's taking it. So I'm just eventually I'll warm up to moving around the classroom, but I'm still just at the front, just observing, cleaning my glasses.
That's great. So Voosh, let me ask you this: do you want to go through the answers section by section, or you want to do all the answers at once at the end? What do you think is better?
I would, as a teacher, probably do all the answers at the end.
At the end? Okay, great. Then if everyone has their answers locked in, we're going to move on to the next section.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Section 2 is history. Now this is the same. This is going to work the same way. We're going to roll a history check, and depending on what you get certain numbers of these answers correct.
Shit. These are all no. So that's my worst. No. This is great. I got 7.
I got
7.
3.
3.
No.
Theodûir?
24.
24. All right. So both Valqwyn and Moss need to take their headphones off, as you guys got none of these answers correct. Theodûir. So the first answer is true. Agothamuk the Red was the first ruler of the Dracopolis of Tizoch. Number 2, Golden Glory was a famous adventuring party, and you can think of, with your 24, all 5 members.
I'm just in my corner.
Sorry. Shut up. All of you, shut up, please.
So you can think of all 5 members of this adventuring party if you want to write them all down, or you could just choose 3. It's up to you.
Oh, I would love to write all 5.
Them all. Okay, so Galfen the Great, Galthen the Great was one of them.
I could show him the page.
Yeah, can you show them the spellings? Perfect. Then I don't have to spell it all out. Yeah, those are the 5. Galthen the Great, Blessed Zathia, Bold Dur, Kulani of the Gibberish Moon, and Ratcatcher.
The third one's pretty great.
Yeah, that's actually a character of mine that I was going to play in an adventure.
Voosh is loving it.
He's like a gladiator he was a famous gladiator, a Goliath gladiator that used a rock as his weapon. So they called him. His name was Dur, so they called him Bold Dur. Yeah. Exactly. And then the last one is
again, just for, or can you say the fourth one again, just so I hear it?
Kulani of the Gibberish Moon.
Okay.
And then the final question, once you're there,
I am there.
is D. King Khaldrun drew the Flames card on the deck of many things.
Gotcha.
Just like, wow.
Cool. So you feel very confident with those, Theodûir. You know these answers. You pay attention in class. This is finally your time to shine.
Ah, finally.
Great. So if you want to tell the other two, they can put their headphones back on.
You guys put your headphones on.
Oh, you want me? I like the idea that Valqwyn has never passed one of these, and that's why she's so much older than everyone else.
Even held back like 2 or 3 years. That's beautiful.
Still not important enough.
I'm still just like, I don't give a shit.
Right. It's like you always pass all the physical stuff. Like you get the only A you get is in Phi Ed, and everything else is all Fs, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
It's like
Hilarious.
someday it'll be enough.
Yeah. So you guys have no idea. All 3 of these questions are stumping you. You can either guess, you can try to cheat, you can ask for a question, you can ask a question to the professor, you can do whatever you want. How do you think Moss and Valqwyn react to still not knowing the answers?
I think Moss would just like look like I would like to roll perception to just look around the room and see if anything jogs his memory.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go for it.
And do I have my dubious power?
Yes, you do have your figurine of dubious power.
It's like
yes.
Moss is just sitting there and he's twiddling his thumb and all of a sudden this just
sticks out. Go for it. So you're looking at the junk in the room.
Yeah, I'm just looking around like, okay, what is Tistoch? Ooh, I got a perception of 18.
18's really good. Okay, you can actually get 2 of those answers with your perception check, looking around. Which 2 would you like?
I would definitely... I
think
like...
3 makes sense for reasons, but...
Yeah, sure. 3, and I would say number 1.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you see there is like a little model. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you. There is a little model of a dragon in one corner, like a little marquette of a dragon that's a red dragon. That jogs your memory. You remember thinking, oh yeah, he was a red dragon. Goff the Mook the Red. So you think that the first one is true. The second one, oh boy, you don't even remember what Golden Glory is. You're not 100% sure what that's about. But the third one, you look over at that mirror that's there, and it's all chased with fire. And that reminds you, oh, the card of flames from the deck of many things is the correct answer. So
I know that one.
Yes.
And
are you having a good time? Actually, you can't hear me. But I like the idea that Val is like not having any clue what I'm saying.
No.
Great. So those are the answers you have. Val, you can put your headphones back on. And Moss, can you take yours out again?
I can.
Awesome.
Cool. So what would you like to do, Val, not knowing any of these answers?
I kind of want to cheat, but I'm not near anybody else.
Okay. I have it as a stealth. So if you want to try to like come closer or like make it surreptitious, yeah. You'll be rolling against the professor's perception in order to cheat.
Okay. I'm going to try that.
Go for it. Give me a stealth check. Voosh, can you do me a favor and roll me a perception check? Ooh. It's technically possible for Voosh to also get a nat 20, but let's see.
It is true. I'm good.
It's very unlikely.
Man, I want to know what's happening.
No, I got an 18 though.
Okay, yeah, but you do not see. So explain to me how this works. Who are you going to cheat off of?
Theo, for sure.
Correct.
What? You
Okay,
want
go
to
for
cheat
it.
off of me?
So I think we're like parallel rows. I'm just in the back and he's in the front. So I think I just like kind of crawled along the middle between. It's just like popped up.
You like
behind
crawled
him.
like on the ground?
Yeah, well, I was like,
That's beautiful.
Because Voosh is like in the front, like going through his book or something. So I'm trying to like get under the
So
eyelid.
why
of
do
the
you
book.
not notice this, Voosh? Like she rolls so well. What happens to you?
I haven't
You're
looked
not
at her
really
for
so
a while because
vigilant.
she like scares me. So like I maybe just like Theo. I'm like walking then by Theo's desk and I just like see all his answers and I'm just like so proud and happy and like we have a moment where I would like just adoring him.
Perfect.
Listening to me.
You got a natural 20, so I'm gonna say you managed to get. Well, yeah, you would get all three, but the second answer is pretty complicated. So
Probably
give
only
me
get, like, half
a.
of it.
Yeah, give me an intelligence check. You can
Okay.
see all of it, but the question is, can you remember it all when you get back to your desk?
Not at all. Not at all.
How'd you do?
I got a mod 1.
A mod 1. Okay, so I'm gonna say you still remember 2 of them. You remember the true and false. You remember the multiple choice, but you couldn't possibly memorize all those names in the middle one.
Got it.
So the first one is true. Gothamuk the Red was the first ruler of that city, whatever the hell that means. Who cares?
Whatever.
And then D is the answer for the third one.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool. Great. But yeah, there were some names there. You don't remember the names. Theodûir's handwriting is really squirrely, so it's like hard to tell. Yeah.
Squirrely or luxurious.
Luxurious.
Decadent, one might say.
It's like a crazy
Indeed.
kind of person.
Voosh, as always, interrupt me with anything that your character is up to while they're taking these questions.
No, you
It's
just
totally
had
up
like
to
a
you.
really proud moment with Theodûir.
Theodûir.
Just like,
Great.
someone
Awesome.
listen to me.
Let's move on to section 3,
Oh.
nature.
I need to still do number 2. Okay, I'll just do it.
Oh yeah, those are the 2 that you can like log that you can get by looking at things. You either need to answer it or leave it blank or make up something. That's up to you.
Okay, so no one cares. Moving on.
Okay, cool. If you don't know, you don't know.
I'm making them up.
Number 3, nature. So we have 3 questions here. Let's all roll a nature check, please.
Don't
Let's see
fail
how
me,
we do.
nature.
Eesh. All these int
Here
rolls.
we are.
Hey, listen, we had a whole tournament about how cool you were
That
last
is
week.
true. That is true.
We'll see here now.
Get it all
We'll
back.
see what happens.
22, baby.
17.
17's pretty good.
14.
14. Okay. So everyone gets the first one correct. Question number 1, which of the following metallic dragons breathes fire is actually a trick question, as both C and D breathe fire. The brass dragon and the gold dragon breathe fire. And then Theodûir, would you mind taking your headphones out, as you do not get the next 2 questions. So hilarious because they are monster manual questions, right?
Ah.
You're just like Hamburg without the book, right? He wants to look, but he can't. We'll talk to him on his part. So you guys know that the second question, the Medusa, the Gorgon, and the Basilisk have a petrifying gaze, is false. The Gorgon has a petrifying breath, but not a petrifying gaze.
Everyone knows that.
Psha.
Everyone knows that. Now, number 3 is a little trickier, but you guys both get it. Oh, actually, no, you do not get it, Valqwyn. You can take your headphones off. Only Moss gets this one.
Me.
Nice.
Only
Moss,
you.
the vampire has 4 weaknesses. Sunlight, the stake to the heart, running water,
Uh-huh.
and forbiddance is the 4th one, which is like not able to enter a room or a house without being allowed inside. Those are the 4 classic weaknesses of the vampire. So you feel very confident in Moss. You know this. This is your jam. You got it.
So,
Great.
so just to name those off out loud, it was sunflower seeds. It was carpets.
Yes.
Moss.
Glass windows, and
Compliments.
what was this last one? Was it just a sword? Perfect. Thanks.
Macaroni and cheese. I
Macaroni.
believe.
That was the macaroni and cheese.
Give me,
Great. So let's put Valqwyn on first.
Got it.
Valqwyn, how would you like to get around this last answer, the vampire question? You don't know the answer to.
I'm going to try to remember a time when when the Crimson Raiders and I fought some vampires.
Okay.
I'm going to try to remember what affected them the most.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's an intelligence to try to remember, which we
course.
all know you're great at.
So good. 12?
12. Okay, yeah, you can think of one of these things. You know that obviously sunlight is the big one, right? Sunlight is like their primary weakness. You get them in the sunlight, they're screwed.
Perfect.
So you
I
can
got
put
one.
sunlight down. Awesome. Yeah, is there anything else you want to try to do to get one more of these? I'll give you one more shot.
Nah,
You can
I'm
also
just gonna
come-
start
okay.
thinking about things that kill like normal
Yeah,
creatures.
you start daydreaming, right? And,
Yeah.
like, doodling.
Just like I think it's like this, maybe
how
a
would I
mole,
murder a
I don't know.
vampire?
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Think about all the
exactly.
like slow-mo moves that would go like right into the fangs. Yeah.
Right, totally. Okay, let's have Theodûir put his headphones back in. You can leave yours in for now, Val, because you already know the answer to the second one.
Cool.
But then get to the last one. So Theodûir,
Yes.
you are stumped by some of these questions. How do you want to go about trying to answer them? We had sort of joked that maybe the idea is that you're so dependent on the monster manual that when they but that's up to you. What do you think?
That would make sense. Yeah. You're saying that when I don't have it in front of me, I don't remember some things, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah. Totally. I think
Still
like,
there?
I kind of want to. Yeah, you're still there. I don't know. I kind of want to cheat. I guess.
You can cheat. Also, guys, this is a practice test, so you can ask the professor. You know, you're not like, it's not an actual test. It's
Oh,
just
it's a
meant to be like,
practice
what
test?
do you know? It's a practice test, so you can ask if you have a question.
Oh,
The professor probably won't just straight up give you the answer, but they might help you. They might give you a clue or point you in the right direction.
Okay, cool. So then, in that
So that's
case,
up to you.
I'm not gonna cheat then. In that case, I'm gonna ask the professor. I'm gonna
Of course.
schmooge. Can I do like a persuasion check or something like that?
Totally. Yeah. So you raise your hand, right? What does this look like?
Okay. So I'll raise my hand. Do you want to know what I rolled first, or?
Yeah. How'd you do?
Okay, I got a 19.
Okay, so that's up to you, Voosh, as to how much you want to give based on that persuasion.
Okay.
If it was like a deception or something, you'd roll an opposed insight, but this is just kind of up to you based on his 19. So yeah, how does this interaction go down? What does this look like?
Professor.
Yes. Yeah.
I have some questions here on the nature section of the exam.
All right. It's a good section.
It is my favorite section. My favorite section.
Interesting.
You see, the Medusa, both of these questions, the last two questions, they seem to be worded in a tricky way here. I don't know if it's exactly clear. Now, I'm pretty confident that the Medusa, the Gorgon, and the Basilisk have a petrifying gaze, but if I'm remembering this correctly, there's also multiple more monsters that also have that ability. So, really, I should be saying false because there's more. There's more than that. It's not just that one. Or is it true because they all have it? It's confusing. It's really confusing,
You're
Professor.
right. You're right. Let's see if we can work through the verbiage together. Okay. So, we list these three for a reason.
Yes.
I think you're on the right track with there being other monsters that could petrify, but because we're talking just about these,
Yes. Yes.
what do they all have in common, and what don't they? What do their petrifications have in common? Do you think? Do you remember?
Oh, do they not all have eyes?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Do they not have all eyes? Does one of them... Does the basilisk do something else?
Maybe.
So it's up to you, Theodûir, as to what to interpret from the professor's advice.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with false on that one then.
Okay, interesting choice. What would you like to do for the last one?
The
Do
last
I
one.
ask the professor again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does Voosh get back to his seat and then you like do it again?
I just sit down and like,
Oh, Professor.
yeah, yes, yep.
You see, this last question.
You see,
Yeah, it is. It's not. It's again. I feel like there's more weaknesses for the vampire here. The sunlight is one, right?
Right?
That's one. And then there's. What
Now,
world are we in?
you
Is
wanna-
garlic one here? I don't remember.
Oh God! You want to make sure that it's
you can give me another persuasion check, Theodûir,
Can I?
if you
Okay.
want, to see how you persuade a second time.
Well, this time I got a mod 25. 3.
It's a mod 25. You didn't put a 25 on the die. You rolled a mod 25.
Most
A
are
natural
20.
25. Yeah.
Ours go to 21.
I think when I say
Oh, yeah.
mod, it's me telling the world that I'm doing math. Like this
Yeah,
is
uh-huh.
I'm doing math right
Leave
now.
me alone while I do math. Yeah.
He's trying to buy time.
So it's even more persuasive this time, but he has now asked twice in a row, Voosh.
Right.
So
Well, okay, so we're dealing. Garlic, if you remember, is a myth. We are dealing with more worldly elements. You understand?
Okay.
So yes, sunlight. You said correct. Sunlight is one of them. There's other elements that we deal with, like an earthly element.
Earthly element.
Kind of.
Magic.
No.
Earthly element. Holy water.
It does. There's one that does deal with water. And it's.
Theodûir, give me an intelligence check when she says that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things where what would your character know versus what do you, the player, know about vampires?
Yeah, I don't know all of these.
Right.
I put me as one of them.
You put what as one of them?
Myself. I just put me. I'm one of the biggest weaknesses for
I'm
vampires.
one of the primary weaknesses of vampires. My sword, comma. God damn it. Yeah.
I got a 6, so I didn't.
A 6. Yeah, you're not sure. This is stumping you.
Okay.
Well, perhaps we'll go over that together
Go over together.
later. Yes, that's okay.
Is there no more, Professor? Okay. So then
You can feel the worry, Theodûir. You might not get a good grade on this practice test, right?
my father might find out about this.
And take away my Pegasus.
Oh my god. Yeah, for the weekend,
The keys
right?
to his Pegasus.
Yeah, the keys to the Pegasus.
Literally, it is a key.
It's a key
Yeah,
to
it is
Pegasus.
actually a key to the Pegasus. That's true. It is a key. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it is literally a key to the Pegasus.
Do you want to keep thinking about it, Theodûir? But I think we should probably move on.
No,
to the
we
rest
can
of
move
the
on.
group.
That's okay.
I'm
If you wanna find
bored.
some
You're
time.
boring, Theodûir.
Sorry.
No, that's great. So next up, the next section is religion. We have 3 questions here. Go ahead and roll those religion checks, everybody. Actually, I wonder, should we take our break now? Or do you want to do this section and then... We did get started a little late. Maybe let's do this section and take our break, because the next section is kind of a doozy. So
Got it.
I did
so
roll.
let's do this one, and then we'll take a break after. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. How we do on religion, everybody?
12.
12?
8.
8!
19.
19. Okay, so Val, go ahead and take your headphones off for me, please.
What?
Weird. So you two guys, Moss and Theo, the first question, you know the answer to. How did Grumsh, god of orcs and carnage, lose his eye? He lost it in a fight with Corellon Lorathian, who is the god of elves. You can just put, like, lost it to the god of elves or whatever. The god of the elves took it out with his sword. You okay, Voosh?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. I wasn't sure that was like a...
DM.
Great. Who got a 12? Yeah. See you later, bud. So Theodûir, you know the answer to the second one as well. Which of the following is a commandment of the goddess Avandra? You think that it is A, luck favors the bold. Avandra is a goddess of luck and chance and adventure.
Great.
But you do not know the third one. No, you do not. Not with your 17. So what would you like to do? Would you like to guess? Would you like to cheat? Would you like to ask the professor again?
I think I'm going to try to give it a solid guess.
Use any of your other skills?
Can I try a solid guess?
So yeah, cool. You wanted to guess, Theodûir?
I did. If that involves me rolling again.
No,
I guess.
no. You can just take your guess, and then we will move on. So,
Okay.
What's up?
Nothing. No.
Yeah, we're gonna get Moss and Val in here. So let's put Moss in.
Moss.
You're up,
I
dude.
can put it back in?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. Hello.
Hey, Moss. So you have the first answer, but you are still working on those other two. How would you like to go about getting these answers?
I was actually just thinking about that. I think I'd probably have wandering eyes. I'm gonna try to use insight to kind of guesstimate which one Theodûir. I'm not cheating.
Oh,
I'm just
see.
gonna
Right,
like.
yeah. Go ahead. Roll me an insight. I'm gonna have Voosh roll an opposed insight. See if he can tell that you're.
It's like one of those like. Oh, it's wandering eyes. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Ooh, I did okay. Insight was 18.
21.
18. Okay.
Fuck.
So you see it. You get the answer, but Voosh catches you.
Oh.
It's up to you whether Voosh does anything or not. But you know, Moss, that the answer to the second one is A. Luck favors the bold. Voosh, what do you do with this information? You can kind of tell Moss is like angling.
Are you looking with your normal eye or your wonky eye?
My wonky eye is probably literally just dangling there now. It's probably looking like...
Oh God! It goes limp when you know
it goes limp. I forgot about it.
Oh my god.
It's horrible.
I'm a horrible character. Like that's what I made here.
Moss, I'm gonna have to ask you to move up to this corner desk over here.
Gross.
Oh, okay. Moss will probably get up. The desk that he leaves behind is just swimming with creatures.
Collapses into driftwood somehow. Yeah.
There's it's just a pile now.
Just light it on fire.
Right. Yeah.
He sits in the corner, away from Theodûir. He's like, well, I don't. Okay. Sits down and immediately
slough over to the front. Yeah.
Immediately, the new desk just.
Has to moisten.
Yeah.
Great. So that's the second one. What about the one after that?
I would love to. This is.
If you have
religion.
you have another skill you might want to roll that could influence it. You could try that.
Yeah,
you could try asking the teacher.
I didn't know exactly what to do. You know what? Might as well why I'm moving to and I'll probably ask the professor this. Well, I was just curious about number 3 because I don't remember it.
Because I don't know the answer. Tell me the answer.
Yeah,
make a persuasion if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with exactly what I just. I don't know the answer to number 3, and I was. What is it?
Thank you. This is religion, right?
Religion, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled. I got a mod 4.
Okay.
On your persuasion.
Well, okay. Can you recall at all what Avandra is the goddess of?
Well, that one is number 2.
I already got that one.
Good.
I think.
Yeah, working on number 3.
Yep. I just wanted to do number 2, I guess.
I just like that one better.
Vecna, the god of secrets, was betrayed by Cass, his traitorous lieutenant. True or false? Which one is it?
Just ask for the answer. What is it? What's the answer?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know what the definition of irony is?
You mean like
Really bad teacher.
like anvils? Like iron?
Yes.
Like from the mountain?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, can you recall what happened to help?
So, Kate, if you don't know, you can also have Voosh make a history check or religion check, which is a skill he's trained in, and I can tell you some information.
Dear God. 16 history.
Okay.
Check,
yeah, you can pull those out. Yeah, go ahead and pull them out.
Great.
So you would know that that's true. Vecna was the god of secrets, and his lieutenant Koss cut his eye and his hand off.
Yeah.
This is actually really good. This chair shows like ginger gingerbread.
And they'd be saying like, do you know anything about the eye of Vecna or the hand of Vecna? Right, that kind of stuff might be a good way to I don't know. Does that work, or is there?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it like a better clue you want to try to give him?
No, I think so. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah. So something about if the eye is gone and the hand is gone, who do you think did that? Right. Someone cut off his eye and his hand. Right. Somebody must have done it. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
You can put your earphones back in, buddy.
You can put your headphones in, Kevin. Okay, so we know that the eye and the hand of Vecna exist. So this did happen to him. Who do you think would be in the best position to cut these off and out?
I don't know what you're talking about. And Moss is just going to turn back to his desk.
Yeah, and sit down. Perfect. All right, so Valqwyn. Let's get Val's headphones back in. You're good.
Yeah.
Guess what, Val? You don't know any of these answers either. What would you like to do?
I'm going to call Voosh over. Hey, Voosh. Voosh.
Yes.
Hey, teach!
Exactly. Come back here for a second.
All right. Very slowly back there.
Keeping in mind, I have a battle axe and a bow on my back still.
Yeah, right. Totally armed.
And, like,
You're just,
daggers
like,
everywhere.
threateningly sharpening your
Armed,
scimitar in front
like,
of him. Yeah.
35 years old, like just
35! An adult woman, multiple murders.
Got a few teardrops just going on.
He's got
Horrible.
like his religious totem in his hand, just ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
Moss, Moss can put his headphones in at least for now. You know at least the first one, Moss.
Oh, yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah. You know the first one, right, Moss?
I already wrote down all my answers, and I'm not changing them, so...
Oh, okay, cool. Then go ahead and put your headphones in, bud.
Perfect. Awesome.
they're in, I think.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I've been
do you
listening
wanna
this
do?
whole time.
So Voosh is over by me, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Close enough, yeah.
So, I don't, I'm not really, religious. This isn't really my kind of thing. I'm liking this whole Carnage guy, though, but, I don't really know anything about it.
Okay, well, if you think of the context of when this sort of happened to him and what war was going on and who was, like, in charge of the other army.
Yeah, don't know. Do I need to roll a history or anything?
You could roll an intelligence if you want. Yeah, you could roll religion or intelligence on that. Yeah.
16.
16. Yes, actually. You know the orcs and the elves fought a long time ago. You think Corlon Larathian, the god of the elves, took his eye out with his longsword. Yeah. So you can write Corlon Larathian, however you want to spell that.
Perfect.
Go for it.
I'm gonna spell it however I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting some creative writing. Cool. Awesome.
Perfect. That's the great thing is that the characters also can just misspell it, and that's the joke.
Right.
All right. And do you want to ask about the next two questions?
I do, yeah. I'm gonna go with that same sort of thing. Just be like, yeah, and these other two don't look super interesting. But
Okay. Well, for number 2, like I was trying to say before when I was wrong, do you remember what Avandra was the goddess of?
I'll roll again. Nope.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, we'll just go over that. I think you'd like her.
I don't.
Does she have a lot of weapons? I like weapons.
She's got a lot of courage. What was my question?
The third one.
Sorry. Oh, okay. So same question. Sorry. Hi. Sorry. Hi, Erica. Great.
Sorry, we just had an elf frolic through real fast.
Just delivery happened. So we know that he lost his hand and his eye.
Cool.
Who do we think would be in the best position to take those
I wasn't there, right?
for that over there?
No. I personally wasn't there. Was I, Voosh?
No,
Damn. Because that would have been cool.
I'm aware.
Would have been a really good story. I don't know. Maybe like second in command, I guess.
Good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? I'm gonna put true there because that sounds about right. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure that my dad's second in command would never betray him.
I like the idea of you just like bullying the teacher into getting the answer right. Like you just push him around until he
so
capitulates and tells you. Right?
Yes. I'm sorry.
So what is
one
it
more
now?
Time.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna take our break. A, because my connection's real bad, and B, because the next section is especially hard. Section 5, mathematics.
Oh no.
Boo.
Yeah.
No checks you can roll for this. You just gotta do the actual math.
Oh really?
It's been too long.
All right, we'll be back in a sec, folks.
Alan, does my divine sense ability tell me anything about this guy?
Yeah, he's a fiend.
I'm sorry, he's a what?
Well, I should say, he has a fiendish presence. There's definitely something very ancient and infernal about him.
Then I draw my flail and attack him.
What?
Hey,
Wait, you do that? You actually do that?
The adventure begins on the 10th of Harvest Home, 929 of Kairosh's Third Age. This is episode 30, Sisters of Steel.
Welcome, everyone. We're back to Junior Adventurers League. I know you guys were waiting with bated breath to see what would happen next in this most exciting adventure yet.
I was.
I'm doing homework. Oh my gosh, you guys. You think we were going to get the entire show without getting any actual schoolwork in? You were wrong. Here it is. When we last left, our heroes had just finished the religion section of their practice test, and we're now about to transition into the dreaded mathematics. There are 3 questions here. Now, unlike the previous sections where there's no possible way you as people in your real life as players would be able to know the answers to some of those questions, there is nothing stopping you from knowing how to do 5th grade math. So there is no skill check. You just need to answer these questions.
Oh, no.
Yes.
God damn it.
Correct.
That's not.
You
Can we
can
use
do
our
they're
calculator?
relatively simple. They're relatively simple, but I will walk through them in case you don't have the worksheet in front of you. Section 5, mathematics. Show your work. The first question is 128 divided by 8 equals what?
A wonderful
Right.
question.
First question. Second question, find the hypotenuse of this triangle. There's a triangle there, and it has 2 sides. It has the bottom side is 6 centimeters, and the longer side is 8 centimeters. So what is the hypotenuse of that triangle? And lastly, I'll read the word problem. Number 3, Tordek, the dwarf fighter, wants to climb down the crumbling tower and reach the bottom before it collapses. If he does nothing but climb, Tordek can climb 30 feet every 6 seconds. The tower is 100 feet tall and will take 24 seconds to completely collapse. Will Tordek reach the ground, or will the tower collapse on top of him? So you guys go ahead and get to work on those math problems.
I'm answering
gonna check.
already.
Good. I'm checking in with Voosh. How you doing, Voosh?
I'm good. I'm a little shaken because of Val. I'm like,
Trembling.
I too am going to do those math problems just to make sure that I remember how to do 5th grade math and can feel sort of confident in something.
Just as like a cathartic exercise, right? To
Yeah.
go back through them.
Or like advanced calculus, maybe. I'm just doing something.
Yeah,
that's
you're doing
really
way
complicated.
harder math. You're like, okay, come on, Kharel, keep it together.
Come on, man.
You got
Day's
it.
your day. Carpe diem.
You're talking yourself up. Yeah. Great. Well, if anyone is in the chat has the worksheet open, let me know how that's going. I don't have anything particularly exciting planned for this moment, as all 3 of our players are legitimately doing math.
We are.
I don't know why I'm so pleased by this. But
Well,
Cody
considering
is
it's been ages since this has actually happened.
I can honestly say, not just Moss, but Kevin does not remember number 2.
I don't either. I'm like,
I
racking
have
my
no
brain trying to
earthly
remember. I'm just
idea,
like,
like-
I don't
fuck,
remember
I
what
don't remember it
a
all.
hypotenuse is.
It's been way too long.
So
remember
for
You're in the
that
monster
one,
manual looking for hypotenuse.
What is
Right.
that?
Moss literally
How many
just
eyes
wrote,
does it have? Is it what part of the land is it from?
Arms.
Moss just wrote, "This is a bad word," and pointed to hypotenuse.
This is a bad word. Well, I answered number 3 as the tower will definitely collapse on top of him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're certain.
Yeah.
You did the math, huh? Did you
Oh,
show your work?
I didn't even try to do the math. I was just like, nope, it's gonna collapse on him.
You drew a picture of the tower falling on him, right? Like,
I should, yeah. I didn't even want to though, because I know Valqwyn would be like, fuck that.
fuck that shit, yeah. Ridiculous. Let me know when you guys are done, and we'll move on to the next section. Moss is finished. He's done. I want someone to give it a
There we
real
go.
shot.
Cody,
I will say also I did
Cody cares.
specifically look up. Those are actual real 5th grade math problems. I
Oh, I
looked up some
believe it.
worksheets.
Yeah.
and
No,
pulled
I
them.
did. I
Right,
did
yeah.
them both. I think it makes sense for Moss to know the first and the last one. First off,
Yeah.
everybody knows Tordek.
Right, of course.
So
and,
it's
and I like the idea too that like all the generic characters from 3rd edition are like the characters in the math textbook, right? So it's like Sovolus the Elven
Yeah.
Ranger is shooting his longbow, right? Like those math textbooks always had like Carlos and Quignon and like all these like perfectly ethnically like represented groups of friends,
Yes.
right? Like
Peter.
whatever weird like utopia they lived in where they solved racism but not division.
Not
right? They were still
division
trying to
at
figure
all.
out how to do
But
long
and they
division.
solved world hunger because one of those bastards is buying like 37 watermelons.
Yeah, so we bought like 45 hamburgers. Yeah.
He eats 12 of them. It's
Right.
like, what's this guy
Why?
look like?
Oh my god, hilarious. Yeah, there's no want in the society. They just don't know how to do math.
Yeah.
So quick aside, just to like
Yes.
to talk to chat. So Ryan, is this your first Junior Adventures League? Ryan Saunders is viewing, and is this the first one that you've stumbled upon? Because
Oh
if
my
so,
gosh, do we
then
have a
I think
stumbler?
we feel a little
One
bit-
I'm
of
so
us.
sorry that.
One of us.
Yeah, this is the
One
one
of
you
us.
found. Oh my
So
god.
sorry.
So we
I like
actually
the
do
idea
play
that,
Dungeons
like,
and Dragons, but
That I just go mad and just start doing this every week. That I completely lose my mind, and it's like new worksheets, and it's like, what happened to the campaign? I don't understand. You're all in school, aren't you? Here's another worksheet that I've cooked up. I'm just like a weird super villain
Can
who
I
gets
ask-
off on his friends doing math.
and we're a bunch of not superheroes, just like showing up every week to do them.
Yeah, like
Yeah, just
weird.
like,
I mean, I guess this must be part of the game. I don't know. Right. Doing
There's
math.
got to be a goblin at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yes, Theodûir.
Can I ask the professor a question?
Sure. Can Kate answer it? That's the real question.
That's true.
Professor,
Go for it.
Yes.
could you come over here?
Yup.
I do.
This question, the hypotenuse. You see shapes in circles. They always confuse me. Is that?
Triangle.
I know it is a triangle.
Shapes and circles.
It was confused there.
All the things, the radiuses and the things.
I'm just thinking
so is
back
this,
to his father's wall of boobs.
Is this?
Yeah, right.
Just like
The circles he's
shapes
got,
and
it's
circles,
triangles
just-
that he's
I
not
don't
used
know.
to. Yeah.
Is that
Can
what it is?
perfectly calculate circumference
Measurement.
and radius.
And
Just
by
my
having
no
these
clue.
numbers, I should know what that is.
He's got a good grasp on bust size. Anytime he
Right.
sees it, he's like,
You can judge a cup from
deduction.
40 paces.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it's a
12
skill
years
way,
old.
like he doesn't even understand. Like he's like, well, she wears a C14, whatever.
Of
Or-
course. What else could she possibly
Yeah,
wear?
it's-
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
All right.
Especially with the two
It's second
sisters
nature.
too.
He's better at recognizing tits than he is at casting spells. Right. Yeah.
What's happening?
We were joking about how there's all these boobs in his house, right? Like that's all that weird naked sculpture in Theodûir's house.
Yeah.
So that he would be really good at like circles and circumferences and things, that he could like judge a cup size at like 40 paces. But a triangle, I mean, right?
Who knows
Naturally
that?
forming shape.
Squares. Psh.
No. But the circle, the sphere,
circle
he has a
is
deep
very
appreciation
well
for
known.
the sphere. We're attaching more things to your character, Cody. How do you feel about it?
Sorry,
He's busy.
That's
Very
what
busy.
busy.
Great.
Wait. No, wait. I did it wrong. Scratch out. Let me start over. I figured it out, though. Shut up.
The room is silent and you're just talking to yourself, right? Shut up.
Every now and then you'll hear the shing,
Yeah.
shing.
Got it. 100%.
Perfect. Great. Let's move on to the last section. The essay section, section 6. Describe in your own words. Now, it says casual factors. It should say causal factors. That's a mistake on my part, not on Boosh's part. That contributed to Valqwyn's nightmare. Now, none of you guys know what that is off the top of your head, but you can make each one of those 4 checks. You can make a history check, a religion check, an arcana check, and a nature check, and they can each give you a clue as to what the causal effects are. You don't actually have to write out an essay, but I like the idea of your character like reciting the essay at the end. So just, do an improv version thereof. I'm not actually asking you to write a real essay.
So we each get to roll.
Yes, you each roll each one.
Okay.
Let's start with history. Let's just do it in order. Or no, let's start with arcana. We'll do it in alphabetical order.
Should we write them all down and then?
Yeah, go ahead and write them down, and then we'll talk about what you know, what you don't know individually. Give me arcana.
Oh, arcana.
You guys just do it on your own time, and then I'll go through each one of you, and I'll tell you what you know.
Cool.
Cool.
You said arcana,
What are you up to,
history,
Voosh?
nature, and
Crit
Religion.
Again.
Yeah.
Crit my arcana again.
Nice. Voosh, what are you up to during this time? Oh, did we hear back from Ryan Saunders?
He didn't answer, but I think it might be.
He left in a huff.
No,
Since we called him out.
He wants to start doing D&D. He does not want to DM, but he has an idea for a character.
Oh, great. Well, welcome to the community, buddy. This is a very strange episode that you've wandered into.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we're very happy to have you if you are still here.
Yeah, chat with us about your character.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, Voosh is probably he's preparing the answers, and he's maybe doing some pass-throughs just to see how they're writing and make sure they're actually writing and not just.
Is he getting it all close to Val?
Doodling penises and stuff. He's keeping a distance from you, but you're writing. Are you writing, or are you not answering at all?
We'll see. We'll see how I feel about these.
See how the
If
essay
you're
goes.
writing,
Yeah.
then he'll get
Yeah.
close, and if you're not, then he'll just pass by from a distance.
Perfect. All right. We're gonna start with Moss then. Moss. If everybody else wants to take out their, no, you can leave them in, Moss. I thought you were taking your buds out.
No, I was stretching.
Cool. Val, if you want to take your headphones off for just a second, I'm gonna walk through Moss. All right, dude. So how did you do on your various checks?
I got a 14 on Arcana.
Okay. Arcana.
A
Got it.
14 on History.
Okay.
A 13 on Nature.
Uh-oh.
And a 5 on Religion.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. You actually do okay. You get it on 3 of the 4. So basically in brief, I'll start with history, that the city of Valqwyn was a town that fell prey to a weird nightly affliction where a night hag, a coven of night hags, preyed every night on the people who lived in the town. And from your arcana check that they came through into the material plane when there was a divination mishap. An inexperienced wizard cast a spell and didn't use the proper incantation or whatever and allowed these night hags to come into the real world. So you have 2. You have history and arcana. That's 2 of the causal factors. And then nature, you also know that the hags used a particular species of moth called the moonblade moth to spread their sort of enchantment across the city. As far as the religious component, you're not 100% sure. You know it had something to do with that, but you can't think of what that is. So you have 3 causes. It was the night hags, obviously, were responsible.
I got them. Yeah, I got them. I wrote them down, so I'm
perfect.
good.
Cool.
Probably
probably
on the last little bit, he was about to be he looks over and they probably is there a window in here or something like that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. If there's a window, he probably just looked outside and he was like, "Oh man, I want to go out there."
Yeah, he was staring out the window. Perfect. Great. Cool. So you have those. You can sort of compose that into whatever form of essay you want. Let's go to Valqwyn.
Val, put your headphones on.
Val, put your headphones on.
Yeah, if you want to pull yours out. Well, let's see what you got first. How did you do?
For arcana, I got 14.
Okay.
For history, I got 8.
Okay.
Nature, I got 15. And then
Nice.
religion, I got 11.
Okay. Cool. So you get 2 of them.
Woo.
You're fine, Moss. You can leave them in. So it was some kind of a horrible disaster. You don't really know exactly what happened, but you know that it was caused by an inexperienced wizard, sort of messed up some kind of a spell, and that caused this thing to happen. You don't really remember what it was, but you know that it was because this guy screwed up his spell. So for Arcana, you have that one.
Got it.
You also know that there was an infestation of a particular kind of moth called the moonblade moth. And because they were all over this city of Valqwyn, that caused it. but you don't really know. Without history, you don't necessarily know what the thing was. You have like two important factors, but you don't know exactly what the thing behind it was. If Theodûir wants to put on his headphones, then I can instruct him.
Put on your headphones.
So just real quick, that was for the Arcana and Nature, correct?
Yes, those are the only two you got.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're done?
Right.
Yes.
She's done.
Okay.
All right. Let's see how you did, Theodûir, and that will inform whether other people have to take off their headphones.
Not so great. I cracked that Arcana, which was great.
Killing it.
Yeah. The history, I got a 7.
Okay.
Nature, I got a 7.
Hey.
Oh boy.
Religion, I got a 12.
I love that Val did
12.
better.
Wow. Okay, cool. So Val, can you take off your headphones for just 1 second? Sweet. So with your crit, Theodûir, I'm going to say that you basically opened up an additional. We're going to count that as a success on the history check as well.
Cool.
Because in order to get that good of an Arcana, you would have had to at least know the basic history. Valqwyn's nightmare was like a curse that was placed upon the city of Valqwyn by a coven of hags, like night hags, that came from the ethereal plane and cast sort of nightly afflictions over everyone in the city. That way they would have these terrible nightmares. And you know that your Trinity tells you, you know exactly the spell. It was basically an inexperienced wizard in the city who failed to make his summoning circle properly and accidentally allowed these night hags into the city. And that's why it came about. But as to the religious or like nature component, you have no idea. You only have basically two. Yeah, that's all that matters, right? Exactly. Those are the only two things you know. It was like a plague of night hags that affected the dreams of the people in the city, and then it was an inexperienced wizard who caused it.
Were they crones?
Well, they were hags, right?
Hags.
Like in the way that what's your face, Mothwing was a hag, was a night hag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Val can put her headphones back on.
You can put your headphones back on.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate everyone's patience with all the headphone shenanigans, but we should be good from now on because that's the last question. So great. You guys can sort of compile your quote unquote essays. What do you think, Voosh? Did you have like a timer or something? Like, are they timed? Is it just when they finish? How do you think that the practice test wraps
Yeah,
up?
I probably have one of those like hourglass things that I start once their essay starts, or once I see that they kind of moved on to that section.
Yeah. Maybe the test says like, stop here and wait, like those standardized
Do
tests.
not break the seal.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. What do you guys want to do?
Voosh, I'm done.
Great. If you want to just hang out, and I'll come collect those whenever else is done.
Moss is
You guys can play Heads Up 7-Up or something, right?
Moss is just like, just right
I'll
out the
pull out
window.
one of my other blades and start sharpening my other one.
Yeah. Theodûir takes the longest for sure, right?
I'm like staring him down at one point too.
Just like you can see smoke coming from my pages because I'm just writing so.
But you only got one of them right, so you're just like over elaborating on the one thing that you know, right? Like
It's
Just bullshitting the whole thing.
2,000 words on the Arcana.
Beautiful. Great. What do you think, Voosh? What's the plan once they're all finished?
Do you want me to like collect these and grade them and give them back, or how did you want
I don't care. We can either just go through real quick because I know there's some joke answers and stuff that'd be kind of fun to go through, or whatever. I mean, I can let you conduct the grading if you want. If you want to go, just go through the answers.
Yeah, I'm a cool.
Because the idea is a practice test. It's for them to see how they did and then learn what they need to work on for the actual test, right?
Okay, I'm a cool teacher, so I'm just gonna have us hang out and say our answers together. It's a group.
Yeah, you're so cool. You're the coolest.
It's all in.
Professor, can we write our names on the board every time we get one right?
No, but you can put a star by each one that you get right, and whoever has the most stars gets a.
Can we write our name on the board
Every time we get
every
one
time
right.
we get one right?
Bigger and bigger.
Yeah, Theodûir of House Thumel every time. Son of Controldia, right? Yeah, just ridiculous. Okay, yeah, let's go through them. So get your worksheets out at home, viewers, because you obviously did this along with them, right?
Rolling your
great.
checks.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, what did everyone get for number 1? Let's start with Moss.
Why me?
Why not?
This was dumb. This is Ice Storm. Everyone knows that.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Who had Ice Storm? Everyone?
It's true, I did. Ice Storm
Good,
was
that's
very
Great.
Great. Val, what did you get for 2?
I put Beezorg and Nanogenarian.
Not quite. Not quite. Does anyone
Not quite.
have an idea of what 2 might be?
Pretty sure that's right, but whatever, you know.
Anyone else?
Moss, what do you think it is?
Theodûir, what do you think it is?
I think that it's pretty simple, so I'm not going to tell you.
The worst class ever.
Right.
Well, if no one has any ideas, then it is...
Enchantments changes minds. Transformation changes physical traits. Everyone
Very
knows
good.
that.
That's very
Very
good. Your name would be on the board twice if we were doing that.
It's true, it would be.
That's 2 stars for me.
Who knows what number 3 is? Theodûir? Val?
It's falsely true. Falsely true.
Part of that is correct.
The other part
That
is
doesn't
wrong.
tell you, because it could be either false or true.
Val, it can't be both.
It's
It
falsely
has to
true.
be one or the other, Val.
Nope. Nope, I think that's right. Especially the sword next to it.
If you just had an open mind, maybe you would...
Theodûir, please.
Sorry.
What did you put?
I put false.
It's correct. It's false.
Huzzah!
More
Great.
guidance.
I
Second
got
one. This won't take any
3
time at all. We'll
stars.
just blast through this. All right, next section.
I want to play a boring character, I said.
She literally said, "I want to play the most boring character I can." I'm like, "Well, we haven't done Voosh yet, so
Yeah.
let's get him going."
Hey, Voosh, this mirror is making weird noises and shapes back here. I don't know if you want to check that.
Oh, that's fine. No, let me know if it starts on fire.
Oh.
Section 2. What did people get for number 1?
True.
It is
Correct.
true.
It is true.
I
Well
scoot the
done.
desk away from the mirror that's making noises.
Mirror is not making noises, by the way.
Who knows
That's
the names of
making
the 5 members of Golden Glory?
Barkwood, Saljek, and Lady Gwendolyn.
That's
That was Cody.
I can't see. What did you put?
Moss
Yeah.
wrote something, erased it. Wrote something again, and erased it. And by the 3rd time, it's just like a smudge. It's
Just smudge.
Just smudge. So like, there's something on there, but there's no telling.
You can't. It's illegible. Yeah. You actually only need to name 3 members of the company, but I think Theodûir has them all.
Don't worry, adventuring party. I know all the names. It's
My
fine.
God.
That is why we are a team.
what are they?
What are they?
They are Golfine the Great,
No, it doesn't sound
Blessed Zythia,
right. No.
Bold Dur,
Wait.
Bologna of
What
the
was that last
Gibbons,
Boulder.
Bold Dur.
You sure it's not your
Bold
best friend?
Dur.
What did he do?
You can roll a history check on the name Bold Dur if you'd like.
I was very surprised.
Quiloni of the
16.
Gibbons, the
Of the Gibrus Moon, yeah.
Gibbous Moons,
I think
and
those are all mine.
Ratcatcher. Those are all of them.
I liked mine better.
Bold Dur was a member of the Golden Glory Adventuring Company. He was a Goliath barbarian who was a gladiator, and he fought with a giant rock was his weapon. He would just beat people with it.
Yeah.
His name was Dur, and they called him Dur the Bold or Bold Dur for obvious.
I know that.
Yeah, reason.
Wait a minute, I read about him. He was
Yeah.
cool.
I believe
Oh
it.
man, I can't believe I got that
Older.
one wrong.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Wah,
Yes.
wah.
Shut up.
Sorry.
All right, and the third question.
I think I got that one right as well. Anyone else?
The
Yeah, there's the
Flames.
flames.
Ah,
Flames,
yes,
flames,
Good
flames.
job. Good job. Well done. Yes.
You're like suddenly shocked and surprised.
Some of them.
You
Good.
know something.
All right, the
I got
third
them all
section.
right, Professor. All of them so far.
That's great. Just great.
Professor, I don't appreciate your ruse here.
Yeah, that wasn't right.
For number 1.
Your cunning
Yeah.
attempt to try and trick us.
Bit of a trick question there. I don't think
these
that's
are
fair.
standardized practice tests, so I did not write them. But did you figure it out though? Don't you feel smart?
No, I
knowing?
feel tricked.
Yeah, I feel a little betrayed by you, Voosh.
As someone who has draconic blood, obviously, I knew all of the answers about dragons. It's very easy.
So easy.
So the first one is C and D, both
Yeah.
brass and gold dragons breathe fire. Number 2,
False.
False.
So false.
Correct.
how come?
The Gorgon has petrifying breath instead of a gaze.
Agreed.
That's exactly right. Exactly what I thought.
That's why.
Precisely what I deducted.
You
All
struggling a
right,
little bit
and
with
number
that Monster
3.
Manual? Me! I'm the biggest threat to any vampire.
No.
If you are wielding what?
Silver.
My swords?
No.
Sunlight, stake through the heart, running water, and forbiddance.
Very, very close to stake in the coffin, not the heart.
That still counts.
But semantics.
Stake in the coffin.
And he has to be in the coffin when you stake him in the heart. If you stake him in the heart, otherwise he just goes back to the coffin in gaseous form. D&D rules. Yeah, he has to be in his coffin when
To
you
actually
stake
kill
him.
him.
So to
Yeah.
be clear,
Why just put stake to the? It's
That counts.
obviously
Yeah.
in the
It still
coffin.
counts.
That's what I told him. It counts. Like,
It's fine, it's fine.
Running water? Really?
fine.
yeah, they can't cross it. And in D&D, they take 20 acid damage every round if they're in running water. That's like a really old like vampire rule. They're not allowed to cross. That's why in Dracula he has like his coffin's all full of his earth. That way he can travel in it, as opposed to being over running water. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
So, I wrote down sunlight, silver, water, and garlic. It's not a myth, and I am right. That is correct.
No.
Right?
Not quite.
You've got sunlight right.
You got them old wives' tales all mixed up.
Yeah.
I said water. That's right.
Look out.
Section 4,
So smart.
the first question.
Corlin Lorathian.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know we cut it out, right?
Huh?
You just said a name, Val. What do you mean?
That's all that matters.
So you're saying
Corlin
Grunch
Lorathian is the
lose his
elf
eye.
general who defeated this Groomsh guy because they were at they're battling life out.
This could be something else. We don't really know.
What are they
Not
doing?
when it's
Could've
two
been doing
guys
some other
involved.
kind.
I don't know.
So, God, I can't understand you. What did you say? I'm just kidding. No,
I was
very
out in the
good.
cold too long.
Number
man.
2.
Very good. Very good.
Luck favors the bold.
Luck favors the bold.
Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
Avandra.
correct.
Which of the following is a commandment of the goddess of London?
This was a guess.
Same one. I just liked that one the best.
Number 3, I guessed.
Take
I'm
it
not
for
saying
your
that. I'm not
honesty.
saying
Oh.
that.
I'm
Number
gonna say
3,
number
I
3
knew.
is true.
100% I knew it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know this when I guessed.
Is it right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true, yeah.
Oh, I knew it. The whole time, I never doubted myself.
All right. All right.
Okay, okay.
Now the real test. Section 5.
16.
Our real. So number 1
Number
is
1
16, right?
It's 16, yes.
Is 16, yes. 128 divided by, what was it?
8.
Is 16, yes.
I don't know if you can see that, but I put right there. Yeah.
I can't, but I believe you.
Yeah. I just put right there with an
Um,
arrow to the side that doesn't have a
Hypotenuse of the
measurement
triangle.
on it.
Is
7 centimeters.
no.
Why?
Does anyone remember how to
I
do the
have
hypotenuse?
no idea. It's an addition to the
Pythagoras,
3,
you guys.
right?
A squared plus B squared equals
Okay,
C
that-
squared.
Damn.
6 squared is 36. 8 squared is 64.
Wow.
Add the two of them together, you get 100. What's 100? What's the square root of a 100?
Wait.
What times
10.
what
10,
equals 100?
10.
10,
Yeah.
yes. So it is 10. It is 10 centimeters is the hypotenuse of that triangle.
Interesting.
Yes, because it's longer than both of the other two sides.
Yeah.
The hypotenuse can't be shorter than one of the two sides of it. It's the longest side.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Welcome, chat.
Pythagoras, you guys.
Where the junior
What about him?
adventurers learn basic math.
Right.
Good job, Brooke.
Great. So,
She knew.
10 centimeters, right?
I definitely did not even try on
Can
number
Theodûir
3. I just
stealthily
wanted
try
to
to
say
change
that
his
it would
answer
collapse
right
on
now?
him.
Moss's
Yeah.
answer to number 2 was just to draw an arrow to hypotenuse and say, this is a bad word.
Yeah.
You used a bad word.
And now Moss is going to be screaming that. When
You
he's
son
in
of a
the-
hypotenuse.
You hypotenuse tree hugging.
Yeah.
Which
Great.
for some reason, Tim, I think tree hugging and
Yeah.
in nature lover is still like cursing because of his family, but it's
Yeah.
also
Right.
like what he does. So
Definitely.
Well, trees and rocks, a little different. A
All
petrified tree
right.
would be different,
And the last question for the math section.
Yes.
What do we think? Will he reach the bottom or will he be crushed?
he
Be crushed.
totally will.
Theodûir wrote down, yes, Tordek only needs 19.8 seconds to reach the bottom. I don't know if that's right.
Yes. He would not be crushed, assuming under D&D rules that he acts first in initiative. If the tower starts to crumble before he does, then he won't reach the bottom. He'll still be on the tower when it comes down. But if he goes first, which he presumably would because he's a character and not an object,
Yeah.
right? Usually that kind of stuff happens at the end of the round, then he would make it to the bottom. Yeah.
There you go.
Great.
I wrote that one myself, actually. That one is a real me.
Not
Because like
surprising.
Tordek the Dwarven Fighter was not a real math question and a real... All right. So let's, for secret reasons, can we do this last section, the essays, in character?
As much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. We don't have to go with you first, but who wants to go? Who wants to read their essay?
Go ahead, Moss.
Valqwyn, a city, was once overtaken and ensnared by night hags. They, with their moonblade moths, were brought into our plane by a wizard, of course. The wizard was messing around with nature and stuff he shouldn't have, and ruined everyone's sleep and good time. Prayers were sent to, and that's as far as I got before I started looking out the window.
Just ends. Prayers were sent to.
Yep,
Great.
I'll go next.
Voosh, do you have anything to add to that real quick before we do that? In character.
Do I? Can I roll something?
Oh, you want to just... You don't know what it is. Sure.
Like, I kind of remember, but...
You need to roll
It's in the-
religion.
It's in the answer key, if you want to read it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for religion?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Do you have anything to add about the astronomical event? Maybe that's important for that.
Is it like a moon? Were the moons there?
Was there like a moon?
Were the moons there?
Moons were not invited. Okay. Val, do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty much the same. There's like some sorcerer that may or may not have blonde hair and mess something up.
There's a wizard.
He was really young and inexperienced.
He might have been experienced. He's still messing around with things he
He
shouldn't
was
have.
still messing around with things he shouldn't have. And there was like some huge disaster that he caused. I mean, what are you gonna do? But then there were some like moonbeam moths or something that were like part of this. I don't know. They were really cool looking, but pretty
She didn't even write
dangerous.
anything down.
And, shush.
It's a blank page.
It doesn't matter. At least I know this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Theo's to blame. What? What did I say?
That is pretty much it. That's basically all. Theodûir?
Yes, well,
Yeah, you spent forever on that, Theo. It seems like you know a lot about it.
Valqwyn's nightmare. Yes, the nightmare hags contributed to that. There were 3 of them, and they were brought to this realm by the Guandijo spell that was ill prepared by the wizard in that town. His name was Manma, and Val was very right. He was very in over his head, and he is truly to blame for bringing those plague hags into this realm, because they came from a realm that was not ours, some other ether. And that is what cursed the city.
Great.
That's
Voosh,
amazing.
how do you think you respond to these essays?
These essays hurt him
He took damage.
a little bit. He takes like, I don't know, like
1d4.
24 like
24 psychic damage.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having
Yeah, exactly. When are we gonna go fight something? Come on, Voosh.
It's important to note that things of historical importance can inform encounters that you deal with today.
History repeats
While
itself.
these skills seem boring, they can help you in adventuring.
Theodûir's like vigorously.
Kate,
Yeah.
do me a favor and check your phone. I just sent you a secret thing. You guys are basically in open insurrection against Voosh at this point.
Yes. I'm like not sharpening my blades anymore. I'm in the back just like playing with him and kind of looking at him. Just like
Spinning him around, knocking stuff over. Right?
prop up the mummy and like kick it down, prop it back up and like kick it down.
So, I want you to understand what happened with this nightmare.
When you say nightmare, Val, you're dancing around and spinning those swords, and you turn and you see that the mirror that you had been looking at, that horrible mirror with the flames around it, starts to suddenly glow, almost like a fairy fire effect around the edge of it, and it kind of starts to shake. And where before it was just a clear mirror, it turns totally black, and you start to hear something
Voosh.
kind of coming out of the mirror, as though there's like a sound approaching. A tiny red light starts to glow. Voosh, you're still in the middle of your monologue. You keep going. You're not aware of this.
Correct.
But what do you want to do, Val?
Oh my god. I'm gonna get the guy's attention. Moss, Theo, you might want to come check this out.
Val, please pay attention. This is important, and I know that you don't think it is, but it could be relevant to some of the adventuring that you're doing, especially if you're in that region.
You see that the bright light keeps getting brighter and brighter in the center as you see that there is something that is galloping towards the mirror. And as Voosh sort of continues his speech, it basically like bubbles outward, and this thing bursts from the mirror. Basically, shards go flying in every direction, and a jet black horse, like with a mane of red flame, basically steps out and starts to sort of fly up into the air and the sort of ceiling of the room. Mounted on the back of this horse is a knight in all black armor. Does not seem to have any body, but it is all just filled with fire. And in his hand, he wields a flaming sword. So it was like a totally boring class from 10 seconds ago. And then all of a sudden, this thing comes bursting out of the mirror, and in this like horrible abyssal voice, "Once again, I am given new flesh." Is what you hear. Let's roll initiative, and we'll take our break.
11.
Oh, farts. I got a 9.
Parts.
4.
How'd you do, Theodûir?
4.
4. Good. And Voosh?
12.
12. Okay.
Oh, Voosh.
We'll be back with this exciting combat in the middle of this dumb homework episode.
Does a 21 do it for you?
21 is enough for you to cartwheel up those stairs, if that's what you want to do.
Obviously, Captain Fletchstonehand never turns down an opportunity to cartwheel.
You tumble straight up to him. You and Lady Celeste are flanking the Viceroy, matter of fact.
Are we indeed? Gee, if only I had taken 2 unnecessary levels in Rogue. Sneak attack all day long.
The adventure begins on the 10th of Harvest Home, 929 of Kairosh's Third Age. This is episode 30, Sisters of Steel.
Hey everybody, we're back. We have our exciting conclusion. When last we left our heroes, they were just finishing their essay portion, and the unimpressed Professor Kharel Voosh was going to give them a lecture on the true causal factors of Valqwyn's nightmare, when on the third utterance of the word nightmare, a horrible flaming horse broke through the enchanted mirror in the back of the classroom, and the knight atop that horse, a being imposed entirely of blackened armor and fire, began to assail them with his flaming longsword. So we just rolled initiative, and going first, surprisingly, is Professor Kharel Voosh. Voosh, what would you like to do when you see this happen?
Oh, not again.
This is the third time this has happened to you. Yeah, what's the plan?
Cool. Can I do a history check to see if I recall anything that could help them?
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Not this way. Yeah. 32.
Damn.
Yeah. So you think that if they were to assemble the mirror, which just broke, that it would basically suck the nightmare back inside of it. That every time it escapes, it breaks the mirror, but only the mirror being together is what can keep it basically sealed within. That's what you recall. That's your action. What would you like to do? Do you want to move? Do you want to do anything else?
Yeah, I want to move as far away as possible.
Okay. Do you want to stay in the classroom?
I do, but I want to be by my desk so that in case I need any of my things.
Okay, yeah. So you probably just like duck down behind your desk, right? He's like kind of up in the air right now, like circling, and he's like, "No flesh!" Right?
Witness me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's very like super dramatic, big bright lights. Okay, cool. That sounds great. Next up, we have Valqwyn. It is your turn.
She just screams a huge yeah.
Right. Of course you do. Yeah. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna magic missile that dude. Yeah.
What's the damage? Are you attacking the nightmare or the knight? Like the horse or the guy?
I'm going for the knight.
Okay, do it.
It was 9 total.
9, okay. So he's like in the middle of his monologue.
Yeah.
You know, witness my... Oh, he gets hit with these magic missiles. Yeah, not nearly as cool as he wanted it to be. Here we go. He took 9 damage, you said? Oof, yeah, he does not like that. There's like big dents in his armor now. Okay, you're just like standing at your desk or back by the mirror, right? Do you want to move or anything? Are you good where you are?
I want to get my back like as close to a wall as I can so that I can just like, keep kind of fighting.
You can put it up against some of the clutter, but you'd have to like climb back into that stuff to get to the actual wall.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just kind of want to like be back. I'm like still kind of by the mirror, but I just kind of want to like back up so my eyeline's like always on him.
Gotcha. All right, Moss, it is your turn. He's circling in the air above the center of the classroom. What do you want to do?
Moss is probably gonna like just a reactionary. All of a sudden, there's a flying demon. He's just gonna sling. He's gonna and sling that wand of web.
Oh, cool. Yeah. It makes a dex or a strength
DC 15 save, I believe.
Okay,
dex.
and I assume it's at both of them, right? Like you can get both on the web.
Yeah, it's a 20-foot cube.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sweet. Let's try to like stick it up to the ceiling. Let's see their dex saves. The nightmare fails, and the knight succeeds somehow. So yeah, you hit the horse and it splats him, like splats the horse like by its belly up against the thing. So he like does a cool move where he like swings out of the saddle and it's like clinging to the side of the horse. It is not technically caught by the web. The horse is like neighing and kicking its hooves. It's like a horrible like abyssal neigh, right? Like a horrible death whinny basically of this creature. They take any damage? They're just stuck.
Nope, they are restrained.
Okay, cool. So one thing you would notice is when the web hits them, the web instantly burns away. And the web that is touching the nightmare is just instantly, at the beginning of its turn, disintegrated. So it will, we'll say that takes the nightmare's turn. So it's like kicking and stuff to get out, but the web just burns and is gone. So Theo, it is your turn. What would you like to do? The horse was stuck, but then just instantly got unstuck.
Great. I'm going to get out of my desk, put my monster manual in my backpack.
That puppy's safe.
Get your pencils and like get ready to leave class.
Give me a second.
Hey, Timothy, any 5-foot cube of webs exposed to fire burns away in 1 round, dealing 2d4 fire damage to any creature that starts its turn in the fire.
Cool. They are both immune to fire.
That I assumed, but I just thought you.
Yeah, but it takes a round, so it's burning the webs away for sure. Nice. What are you doing, Theodûir?
And then I'm gonna drop mirror image.
Of course.
Of course, yep.
Yeah, of course. Actually, maybe all 3 of us are getting my things into that one backpack.
Sticking them all in. That's perfect.
Yeah.
One of them's taking pictures of it with his phone.
Yeah, and then, absolutely. And then we're gonna just kind of spread out and kind of probably walk kind of backwards and try not to be the main point of attack. For this creature.
Yeah, perfect.
Basically.
Great. So now that the horse is free, the knight will spur the horse over towards you, Valqwyn. You dare attack me! Flaming longsword at you. He only gets 1 attack though. I don't think so. Only a 16.
Nope.
Yeah, so his big longsword comes down. You do like a deflection, or do you dodge?
Oh, I dodge out of the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
So his sword hits the clutter behind you, and a bunch of the papers instantly catch on fire. Now there's like a flaming like inferno in the back of the classroom behind you. And
Val is just loving this. She's just like, oh my god, it's the best I've ever had in a classroom.
Great. Voosh, it is your turn. What would you like to do? You've seen the miss, and you've also seen your papers start to go up in flames.
Cool. Well, I'd like to shout out to the class.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, adventurers, you have to assemble the mirror. You must put it back.
Okay, that's free action. So what do you want to do with your turn?
Yep. I kind of want to just like just throw something out.
Totally.
Get your stapler and just.
Oh yeah, like one of those erasers. That's like...
Okay. Cool. So make a strength or a dexterity check, because I don't think you're proficient with erasers.
No, I'm not. Okay.
Which one are you going to do?
Dexterity.
Cool. So I think you're at a -1, right?
Yeah. 16.
16 will actually hit. Are you aiming for the horse? Yeah, if you're aiming for the horse, it'll hit the horse. It will not hit the knight.
Yeah.
Great. Roll me 1d4 damage minus your strength modifier.
Okay. Minus that? That's...
Yes, because your strength modifier is negative. It should be a -1, right?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, this was not here. So 2.
2 damage. Yeah, great. So you hurl this eraser. Yeah, slaps the horse in the rump, and the eraser just catches fire instantly and then falls flaming to Val's feet.
But there's one of those little like the eraser mark on its ass.
Yes,
so it's
on its like perfectly black like ebony ass. There's like a chalk mark as it falls. Yeah. Wonderful. Valqwyn, this burning eraser just fell at your feet. He's still up in the air, like oh. What do you want to do?
Oh my god. Is the horse within melee range?
Yeah. The horse is the knight. You'd have to do an athletics to jump up and hit him, but you can hit the horse's hooves.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do double attack on the horse.
Cool.
First is a 19.
19 will definitely hit.
Second 16.
They'll both hit.
Sweet. Okay. First one hits for max.
Yeah,
so I got
baby.
12 on the first one.
Oh, brutality.
And 5 on the second.
Nice. Yeah. How do you slice it up? What does this look like?
I think I'm going for the straps.
Oh, the saddle.
Oh, yeah.
Chat
I'm
owner,
gonna go for,
$4.
Ooh, what
Shadow
for, buddy?
Runner.
Thanks for the donation.
like,
Cool.
So yeah, I think I'm going for like the straps and like the underbellies, so they're both just like going for that.
Perfect. So you're slashing with both your weapons. You manage to like very nearly uncouple it. It's like hanging by a thread, and then if you can hit there one more time, the whole saddle will come down. Great, nice work. Do you want to move, or are you good where you are?
Oh, I'm right. I'm good right in the middle of the action.
For Moss, apparently. Can you give me a dexterity save, Val?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, nat 20 for you.
Oh, I don't make it 6.
A nat 20 for me? Oh, cool.
Oh my god. So a bunch of these things that are behind you fall on top of you, like a big like stack of burning boxes come down. You take 16 fire damage.
Jeez.
As you're just covered in flames. I rolled maximum. It was insane.
Oh no.
So yeah, you look really awesome. You cut that thing, you land, and like a bunch of stuff just like tips over. Great. Moss, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Well. Yep.
Why don't you do produce flame, Moss? Why don't you do that?
Or flaming sphere.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Actually, I do know what I'm gonna do. Moss, I'm gonna move towards the. If I heard the professor's like, I knew being inside was a bad idea. But
Totally.
I'll run towards the. I'll run towards the mirror, the shattered mirror.
Go for it.
And as I'm running towards, I'm going to try and like skirt around there, but I'm going to cast Earthbind.
Ooh.
Which,
how does this work?
Choose one creature you can see within range, yellow strips of magical energy, which is not what actually happens. Loop around the creature. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw, or its flying speed, if any, is reduced to 0 feet for the spell's duration.
Cool.
An airborne...
Just like pull it to the ground?
Yeah. An
Nice.
airborne creature affected by the spells descends at 60 feet per round until it reaches the ground or the spell ends. So,
Ooh, the nightmare got an 8, so I think it fails.
totally fails. So, like Moss probably like running through, and he probably like he probably trips, just and he just goes and just slams the ground, and like like rocks and ribbons and just nasty things just
grab him, and then the horse makes like a horrible infernal neigh, and then gets pulled back to the ground.
And so like then Moss will make it the rest of the way as close as he can to the
you can make it to the mirror if you just go. It's not a very big classroom. You can make it all the way over.
Moss is like,
does the horse take any damage when it hits the ground?
Nope. He has a 0 flying speed. Duration is up to 1 minute. Concentration.
Does it explicitly state that he is brought safely to the ground? Because otherwise, I'm going to say he does take a little bit of falling.
An airborne creature affected by the spell descends at 60 feet per round. Is all it says.
Okay, yeah, he hits the floor. That's much
Seems
cooler.
like it's
He only took 2
plummeting.
points of damage, but yeah, blam, he hits the earth. Like there's a big crater in the middle as his horse is like grabbed by earth. Nice, cool. It's its turn, so it is no longer grabbed now. It's going to stand up, and then it is just going to attack. It has 2 hooves. No, it only has 1 hoof. It's just going to go after Val. You're obviously the only target, the only threat to it.
I'm like covered in hooks.
Well, it didn't knock you down. It just like landed around you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it will just rear up and try to smack you. Ooh, there we go. 22 damage, baby.
Wait, what?
22 hits. Sorry,
I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
What level is this?
I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, you are hit with 2 hooves. You take 14 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then you take 8 fire damage as you catch on fire.
Okay.
Just bam, 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 bam with its hooves. Foolish girl!
Yeah,
He
I need
announces.
healing.
Great, that is the Nightmare's turn, and now it is Theodûir's turn.
Yay! Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
That's I don't know.
Isn't that that's what I always said, wasn't it? I always said that.
Everyone always said that.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go over to the mirror. Actually, all 4 of us are gonna go over to the mirror. And
Well, I mean that makes sense. It's Theodûir in the mirror, so
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Going to the
What are you
mirror.
gonna do?
Yeah.
We're in the mirror image is. And can I do a perception check on that thing to see if I can?
What are you trying to figure out?
I want to put it together.
Okay. Yeah, I think perception makes sense to like collect all the pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Go for it. Give me perception.
Great. That is 21.
Yeah, cool. I like the idea that several of the other mirrors, like, oh, there's one. They're like pointing them out to you, right? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, 16. Sorry, 16.
Oh, okay.
17,
Still
17,
enough.
17.
oh, okay. Stop
That's
giving
the
me
number.
different numbers.
That's the number.
No, it's fine. So you can collect about 1/3 of the pieces you would need, and as you start to put them like in the mirror frame, you see that they kind of like cement back together.
Oh, cool.
So it's just kind of like a puzzle. You just have to like put the right pieces in the right place. So you have like 1/3 of them in, and they're kind of all over the place. But you think if you succeeded at that 2 more times, the mirror would come back together.
Awesome.
Perfect. All right, then it's the knight's turn. The knight sees you, Theodûir, and does not want this to happen.
What?
Jeez! And he will swing at you with his longsword.
Oh,
And he
no.
has to hit-
Which
he has
one
to
are you
get
going to
of
try?
your- Yeah, dude. Well, he does go through your AC because he gets an 18.
He does, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
he
great. So
does.
then I'm
Oh, he gets
rolling-
even more than that. He gets a 19.
Oh,
Oh, excuse me, a 21. Oh,
Whoa.
actually,
Oh, wait. Okay, so now I'm going to roll an opposed roll to see if you're hitting one of my duplicates or not. So I must roll a 6 or higher.
okay, do it.
If I don't, then you're hitting me.
Oh,
I rolled a 6.
Nice.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah,
you hit
so-
one of my duplicates.
Destroys one of the duplicates.
Oh, no.
Cursed spellcaster. Yeah. Cool. That's the knight's turn. He's very unhappy about it. Let's see. Oh, does he have his thing? Heated body. Okay, got it. All right, moving on. Voosh, it is your turn. You just threw an eraser to some effect across the room.
Heyo.
What would you like to do now?
Aw.
that's $2 from Shadowner. Imagine
Stop
that.
it.
All right.
Stop, don't stop.
Thank you, Shadowner.
Thanks,
I have
Shadowner.
2 things I want to do. I wanted to try and I want to throw my apple to Val, and then I want to like make my way over to Theodûir.
Yeah, you do both of those things.
Okay, but can I like say separate things?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw my apple over to you and say like, "Have a bite of this. It'll help you." And then
He throws you an apple.
I'm gonna walk over and try and like get into
The apple?
the night and be like, "Listen."
Oh,
She's gonna lecture the nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Do you want to make a check?
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like throwing the apple is your bonus action. You move, and then if you want to like do an intimidate or something on the night,
yeah.
you can.
I don't. I rolled a 4,
Okay.
so I'm not terribly intimidating.
You might be
I
terrified.
mean, like, he's just horrifying, right? He's just like Fantasia-esque bad guy. Yeah.
It was a lot less scary the further away you were, but every step he just keeps that's another foot. That's another foot.
Yeah.
Totally. Do you just like shrivel up, or like how do you respond when you looking?
Sir, stop it right now.
Out of the way, old man. Great. And then we are on to Val. It is your turn. You have an apple.
I have an apple.
Also, you have 1d12 plus 2 hit points you get back from the donation.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna use that.
Do it. Yeah, roll that. What'd you get?
I got roll with a 1.
Oh no! So you get 3 hit points back, but you also have this apple. I will say, as a bonus action, you can take a bite of.
I'm definitely gonna take a bite of that apple.
Cool.
What's it do?
You get 6 hit points.
Woo! Shank
You take a bite, and then you see that it like reforms after you bite it. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna keep that guy in my pocket.
Literally rob the teachers. Like, this is useless to me.
This is magic.
This is mine now.
So you use your bonus action to bite, so you can only make 1 attack this round.
I'm gonna
'Cause you
magic
can't
missile on the knight again.
Oh, never mind then. Yeah, get that damage.
Alright, so that is 7 damage.
Okay, cool. Oh, so obnoxious.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. He's blasted. Cool. You want to stay where you are?
I'm by the burning pile still, right?
You are, yes. So at the end of your turn, you'll need to give me a dexterity saving throw. But if you move away from it, you will provoke an opportunity attack from both the nightmare and the knight.
Yeah, I'll just stay there then.
Okay, give me
So
dexterity
dex-
save, please.
Haha, 21.
Yeah, you're fine. You can see it coming now, and you sort of like get out of the way as these things are crashing around you. Moss, it is your turn. You moved over by the mirror.
Moss is over by the mirror. He's probably gonna because he kind of crawled the rest of the way. He's gonna stand up. He's like, keep away from her, you hypotenuse knight riding something. Just
There you go. Perfect.
Just vomits out. He's actually going to go into like an intense slew of cursing.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna bump that healing word up to a 2nd level.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a good round for Val to get healed. Look at all this stuff coming in. Yeah.
It's not great, but it's okay. 4 plus my spellcaster ability modifier, so 4 is 7.
Woo, shake it.
So you heal for 7, and then when Moss like screams that, he just look down and he rolls a natural 20 from Shadowner.
Oh, nice.
For
the pieces?
Yeah, for investigation to find the rest of the pieces.
Great. Yeah, I will say with your natural 20, you can get all the pieces together, and you can put in half of those. But you still, next round, will have to put in the other half, right? So you have all the rest. No one needs to search anymore. But it's just a matter of, like, quick, put them in, right? Like, great. Can you give me a dexterity save, please? Because you were also now near the fire.
Oh, I am?
Yeah, if you went over by the mirror where Val was, everybody who's over there is near the fire now. Yeah.
What? Dexterity is my best skill. I got just a 9. I rolled a 9.
Okay, cool. You're going to take some fire damage. Oh. You take 12 fire damage as these things are... Paper's kind of wafting around the room now. You get the sense that, like, around the nightmare, there's this, like, whirlwind effect as he appears. So there's, like, flaming papers and your test scores and stuff are flapping around.
This place is a death trap!
Theodûir, you see your essay go by burning, like, no! Right. Your beautiful essay. Okay, cool. It is the nightmare's turn. Now he has more people. He sees, Moss, that you have the shards.
The conch.
So he's going to swing his hooves over at you.
He's going to hit me.
Try to bring you down.
Just go ahead and roll damage, man.
Yeah, I will. I will do that as I successfully hit you. That is 10 bludgeoning damage
And
plus 6 fire.
okay,
So you are wailed on. Are you still conscious?
I am still. I'm a
Great.
beast. Have you met
That's
my
what,
mom?
yeah, you got that good con.
Have you met my mom?
I have met your mom. The nightmare has not, however.
Oh.
Theodûir, it is your turn. What would you like to do on your turn?
Since all the pieces are collected, I'll turn around.
Moss is just getting like lambasted by the nightmare,
Yeah.
like trying to hold on to all of them.
He's
Right?
probably like, this is fine. He's got like a black eye. There's fire.
His hooves are coming
Yeah.
down on you.
Good job, Moss. You keep taking the hits, and then I'll move away, and I'm gonna cast a witch bolt.
So if you move away, Theodûir, you'll provoke an opportunity attack
Really?
because you're up in the business now. Like the knight is not that far away from the mirror.
Okay.
He went over to Val, who was
It's
still
okay.
by the mirror.
I got a mirror image, so I'll risk it.
You'll take it? Okay,
yeah, I'll
cool.
risk it.
So the horse will try. Ooh, the horse crits.
Oh no.
So let's see if it hits you though, right?
Yeah. So let me get to that page. Hang on one second here.
It's an 8 now. You got to roll above an 8.
Okay, thank you. I rolled
And
a 12.
the knight, a 12.
So you hit
Cool.
another image. So
Great.
there's 2 left. Me and.
But that one is
another
just like utterly decimated,
Yeah.
right? The knight swings at you as well, but misses. You manage to duck out of the way of that, so you can get away.
Which one is it?
Great.
Oh. And then I'll whip out some a witch bolt from the orb, and I'll throw it at the creature. And I'm also gonna up
And you
mine
just,
to
like-
level 2.
Ooh, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
You just like pointlessly strafing back and forth, right? Is how this works. Like,
Yeah.
trying to look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to hit him first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see.
see it.
Oh, I crit.
The knight or the horse? Nice.
Wow, that's like my 3rd crit, y'all.
The knight or the horse?
I guess I was aiming at the knight. That's what I
Okay,
was,
cool.
mentally thinking of.
Yeah.
So I get to roll 2 d12s.
Mm-hmm.
How's this work though? What do I add when a crit happens?
Oh, when you crit, you roll whatever dice you would roll.
Yeah.
Again, so you would roll 4d12
So I roll
if
4?
it's 2.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That is.
Oh my god.
So that's
37.
17 plus 17 is 34.
Yeah.
What was it? 17? I thought the first one was 20 total.
Wasn't it 11 and 6? Or was it?
Well, it doesn't super matter because he is destroyed. Would you like to describe what this looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely like, he's kind of cocky, like, oh, you missed me, sorry. And then he steps back and his eyes get a little, like, bigger. And then
He looks down and he's got like half his face is like black.
And because there's 2 of us,
Right.
you can maybe say that we both cast it or something like that.
Yeah, totally. That's great.
And it's like literally in sync, like they are moving in sync, and it's just this lightning bolt, and it just, and they both like.
It is literally in sync.
The band.
So bye starts to play.
Sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's this great shot too because you have the lightning crackling, but there's also the fire, and so it's your face, and you can see the flames in your eyes, and lightning will just as dark as you have ever looked.
Yeah.
It strikes the knight, and he no, and starts to shake, and the armor like is cracking and buckling. He drops the sword with a clang on the ground, and he basically goes up in a big column of black smoke.
It's
The horse is still there, however.
This is probably horrifying for the teacher who you're the teacher's pet. And he's like, oh, he's such a nice boy.
Such a nice, innocent, good student.
Yeah.
None of this is ideal for Voosh. None of it.
Absolutely not.
Great.
All right, we are back up at
Still
the
have a
top
horse.
with Voosh because now the knight has been destroyed. What do you want to do, Voosh?
I want to try and finish putting the mirror back together.
Okay, yeah, you can take the pieces from Moss. Go for it. Give me a perception to just figure out where they go.
Okay. 18.
Yeah, perfect. You can take the rest of the pieces and boop, 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 slot them back in. The horse gives sort of a once the mirror is together, there's like a sheen across it again, and the horse gives like a horrified that sound that horses make when they die, like that awful scream.
I don't know that one.
Sound. It makes one of those,
off
but
the top of my head.
much more horrifying. All the time. And it's like slowly sucked in like Jumanji, basically back into the mirror,
Yes.
which goes all black. You can see little like fragments of it like peeling off. It's like pulled back in. The mirror sort of just shaking and shaking and shaking, and then goes totally still and back to being normal. You guys are all standing there. There's still fire raging in the classroom, right? You're just standing there. Great.
I
Val,
go
what
and
do you
pat
wanna do?
Voosh on the back. Give him a pat, just like, yeah! That was the best time I've ever had in a classroom. Thank you, Voosh.
Before you do that, actually, Voosh, can you give me a dexterity save? Because you're standing next to the fire, too.
What do I add? No, 9.
9? Yeah. You, like, put the thing back together, and you turn around, and you're, like, so happy that you've done it. And then you take 7 fire damage as a bunch of the things that were swirling kind of fall and land on you. Great, yeah, but you go over and you pat the burning Voosh on the shoulder.
Kind of trying to like brush off the embers, just like, yeah. I was really,
Yeah.
I'm like patting too hard though, just like, yeah.
Awesome. What do you guys want to do?
Moss will go around the room trying to put out the fires with Druid craft.
Okay, yeah. If you use that spell, you can go around. It takes you maybe a minute or two, but you can put most of the stuff in the room out. It's just like big black smoldering boxes of stuff, right? Like black smoke kind of leaking up off of them. Just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah. What's the plan, Voosh? Now what do you do?
We need to get out of here. If you could all calmly exit, drill style.
Yeah, fire drill.
Let's get out of this room.
You sure you don't want us to help out with these boxes? They're a little messy.
No, there's people for that. Like an alarm.
Yeah, there's definitely like a fire alarm. And like all the school's tieflings like get together and come over the impromptu fire brigade, right? Yeah, so I think you pulling the like hitting the alarm button, ding ding ding, all the kids, like aren't that many kids, and all the professors that were in their classrooms like poking out like what is going on, is probably where we'll end the episode for
Bush's
tonight.
room is on fire again.
Yeah, this is the third time this happened. Yeah, the last shot is you guys all filing out, and then like somebody's test on fire, like slowly landing on one of the desks, just like creeping
The
up.
grade slowly burning away.
Yeah, just like melting and boiling away. That's perfect. Awesome.
Woo!
Thanks guys for playing.
Thank
That was
you.
episode 21, Trial by Fire. I appreciate everyone putting up with the horrible worksheets,
So cool.
which are yours to keep, guys.
Oh.
Yours to keep.
I'm gonna put on my
Oh man,
fridge.
what a great.
Claudia's gonna be so proud.
Do you want me to grade it before you go home?
Yeah, could
That's
you?
kind of funny. Yeah, you should grade them. We can post some pictures. That'd be kind of fun. Great. So if you guys want to, in the poll, in the chat, just let us know who you think deserves this week's merit patch. In the meantime, we have some names to read off.
Oh.
I think technically I had last week's merit patch, but it was only one.
Oh, but you
vote.
didn't use it.
I was.
Yeah.
I wanted to use it, but I only rolled like one more time, and I was about to
Yeah.
use it. Then I got a nat 20 from Shadowrunner, which is much better.
That's fair.
It's true.
Right. Much better. Agreed. Well, let us know if we don't get another consensus in the poll, you can keep it for next week.
Well, I wasn't saying I just kind of felt like I kind of didn't want to use it because I only got. There was only one vote, and don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it was for the right person, but.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Let's not worry about it too much.
I'm gonna opt out of reading of names this week.
Okay.
That's totally fair. We don't have too many. I think it's only like 8 or 9.
There's just 9.
Okay, cool. So if it's the 4 of us, if Val's not going to read, then I can read 3 if you want. You guys can each read 2.
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay. A huge supersized thank you to Ed Robinson.
Whoa, thanks, Ed. Appreciate it,
Here's
man.
to you, Ed Robinson.
Ed Robinson. How have we never made this joke?
Whoa.
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 Great. Who's next?
The fabulous.
The incomparable.
I was trying to think of an adjective to describe her, and you can't. Brooke Siegel.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Brooke.
Everybody loves Brooke. What's going on, Brooke?
A huge thank you to Hallie. Thank you.
Oh,
so much,
yeah.
Hallie.
No last name.
She's okay.
No last name.
She brought me some. I was very hungry. I didn't get a chance to eat, and so she brought me some food. This food here that I'm going to eat as soon as I'm done. Is she the best?
She's
Yes.
winning in
Yeah.
all sorts of ways.
You should marry her.
I'm thinking about it. Great. Who's next?
This next one, a huge thank you. Pavel Kovalenko. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Yeah. he's a fan of ours from Russia. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
We also want to give a big ol' thank you to Exploding Dice.
Hey, Exploding Dice.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Brian.
to
Appreciate it.
Exploding Dice. And finally, and not finally, because
No.
Timothy's got 3 more
I
names.
still have to do mine.
But
Yep.
and finally, for the last name that I get to read, a big thank you to Ben Jackson.
Hey,
Thank you, Mr.
notice
Jackson.
Big Ben Jackson on Twitter. What's going on, Big Ben Jackson? Thanks for Big Ben Jackson.
Thank you.
I got 3 of them. I want to thank a longtime supporter of ours, Cranston. Hey, thanks, Cranston.
Cranston.
Really appreciate it. 2 more to do here. We got Jessica Odegaard, who nobody knows here personally at all.
I do.
Don't know her, but thanks whoever you are.
Thank you.
And also thanks whoever you are to Mary Xantop. I don't know
Who was that?
who you are,
Thank you,
Mary,
Mary.
but we really
Randos.
appreciate it.
Just some
Just a
randos.
rando. Great. Any consensus in the poll, or should we call it for tonight?
1 vote for Val, 2 votes for Val.
Hey.
You survived a tremendous amount
2 votes for
of
Val.
damage. I would really
Yeah, you
quickly
did survive a lot. Hey, what's up?
like to retroactively sing happy birthday to our fantastic DM who
Oh,
creates all
stop.
these adventures.
Yeah.
No,
Just do it really quickly.
That's
1, 2,
that's
3.
unnecessary.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Timothy.
Timothy.
Happy birthday to you.
I know.
Yeah.
Yay.
Great. We're gonna get flagged now because that's a copyrighted song.
Actually,
right,
it's
so.
not anymore. They couldn't legally.
Oh,
do that.
you're right.
Boom.
I heard that. Screw those guys. Now we can all do it.
Yeah,
But I think it's produced a lot of great like fake birthday songs,
Oh,
right? Like
Let's do it again. Happy birthday to you.
the Futurama one I like a lot, which is what day is
Yes,
today?
that's so good.
It's Nibbler's birthday.
Today
What a day for
is
a
a
birthday!
birthday.
Let's all have some cake. Yeah. I just like the legally distinct birthday songs. Hey, well, congratulations, Val, on getting the merit patch.
Thank you.
We will be back next week, same time, same place, with a very special episode in which we'll hopefully be bringing back a longtime favorite character who's been
Kharel
absent
Voosh
from
again.
the sessions. Kharel Voosh! Part 2! No, great. But before we go, one thing that's very important for you guys to remember, even when we're just studying and doing our academic pursuits, not our adventuring, still important to keep 1, 2, 3,
Party
above all.